Showtime! The Capital G show starts right now.
What's up YouTube, Capital G here. So in the newest collector's pack in the OCG, we're finally going to be getting Mirror Force Dragon. Now, I didn't finish watching the original series, as I said multiple times, and I never really knew of this card's existence. One thing that I used to find funny is anytime I used to Google search Mirror Force and like look at the images, the first thing that would pop up is Dragon, and I'd be like, wait, what the hell is Mirror Force Dragon? So I would click it and I would see, you know, a whole bunch of like fake cards and whatnot. I'm like, okay, well, is this a real card or is it not a real card? Obviously the picture here leads me to believe that it is actually a real card that was used in the anime. You see it says anime right there. So I'm like, okay, well, why haven't we gotten this card? It looks like it's from the original Yu-Gi-Oh series. So Konami is finally throwing us a bone. Now, one thing that I did notice immediately is all the fake artworks. They all have like 2,500 defense, or yeah, they all have 2,500 defense. Konami must have adjusted this card obviously from the anime, because you can see that it has 1,200 defense. So anyways, you can see that it's a fusion level 8. It is light attribute, 2,800 attack. The card looks pretty cool. I do wish that it had Mirror Force somewhere in the artwork to kind of represent, you know, represent what it's supposed to be, but I mean, it's fine. It's light, but it sure does look like devilish. I mean, this motherfucker does not look like he's a nice guy at all, but I guess looks can be deceiving. All right, so let's read the effect. Must be special summoned by the Fang of Critias, sending one Mirror Force you control or have in your hand to the graveyard, and cannot be special summoned by any other way. So when he hits the field and he dies, there will be no soul charge. When a monster you control is targeted for an attack or an opponent's card effect, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. That second part right there, like that last line, is just, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. That's fucking just nuts. All right, so even though I guess the artwork doesn't represent it, to me, it seems that the effect represents Mirror Force. Like, anytime your opponent tries to attack any of your monsters, you just nuke their entire board. Like, it's not even just the monsters, it's their back row too. So it's like even better than Mirror Force, I guess, in the sense of it actually resolving its effect. And then also, it's just, if they try and target it, like if they would try and you know, use anything like a mind control or a breakthrough skill on one of your other monsters, you know, that isn't Mirror Force Dragon, you just get to nuke their field. Another thing I find interesting is it says that this guy doesn't have to stay face up to activate its effect or to resolve it. So, you know, there are a lot of cards that say as long as this card is face up, but I mean, it appears that if, like, even if they Book of Moon your guy, you can still activate the card, and I would assume be able to resolve it and just nuke their board as well. The card just seems really, really good, and I would imagine, like, it puts your opponent in a position, because theoretically, like, no one's gonna actually want to target or attack your dudes as long as you have Mirror Force Dragon up, which means that either they're just gonna let you constantly do whatever the fuck you want, like, I mean, not basically play any of their defensive cards, or they're just gonna have to use mass removal. Because if you're summoning monsters, like, in addition to this, I mean, your opponent is probably going to want to attack them. They're not just going to want to let them sit there and stack up so that you can exceed and, you know, fusion and synchro and get to your boss monsters and shit. So it puts them in a no-win situation. I look at mass removal and I see that as like probably the only reliable way of killing this motherfucker. Or you can use like non-targeting destruction, but I mean, or non-targeting removal. But let's be honest, outside of Trishula, there's not a lot of good non-targeting removal in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! You have Trishula, like what's it called, Queen Tiramisu, and not a lot else. I guess Muratak, you know what I mean? But it's not exactly a long list. Now, I think this card's playability is really going to hinge on this card right here, the Fang of Critias. I mean, if it's a card that can easily be played, or if it's a card that's going to be really difficult and have like a high payment or something like that, that's going to really determine, in my opinion, if this card is playable. Because sending one Mirror Force you control to the hand, or from the hand or the field to the graveyard, I don't really think is that big of a deal, especially with Mirror Force at 3 now. It is nothing to draw Mirror Force and just say, I can discard this. I can, you know, play things like Fiendish Chain and Bottomless Trap Hole to defend myself. And once I get Mirror Force Dragon on field, I don't really need to worry about using Mirror Force anyway, because this fucking card has Mirror Force built into it. Also, the card has pretty good stats, so it's not like if your opponent just thinks that they're going to sit there and hide. I mean, this motherfucker can run pretty much anything over. So let me know what you guys think. I think it's interesting that it's a fusion and not just like an effect monster. I mean, it's cool because you don't have to worry about drawing the card and it being completely dead. So I think that that's actually quite like that's pretty convenient. I think the card's pretty good, but again, it's going to hinge on what this card right here actually is. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching as always.